Job seekers, welcome back. I'm going to talk to you about the questions that are hidden within a job listing. For example, here's a job from Netflix for a program manager. You will be responsible for understanding the priorities of the business, operations and tooling needs, and then partnering with engineering to scope and drive the projects to completion. So even in that one paragraph, there are a whole lot of different questions. And if you are writing a cover letter, you want to try and address each of them slightly. For example, you would want to talk about how you were responsible for expressing the priorities to members of your team. Then operations, that's a whole area of business that has to do with logistics and scheduling and managing multiple teams and organizing the order of tasks to be done. So you would want to give an example of when you are in charge of operations for some project. And then tooling needs, I'm not actually sure what that is, but someone applying for this job would certainly know. So there are three aspects of what you need to understand in that business, just in that one sentence. And then they talk about partnering with engineering. So you would want to talk about a time when you partnered with a whole different department. And then to scope and drive the projects to completion. Now, what is interesting about that is that scope and drive are two different aspects of the logistics of managing a project. Scope has to do with planning and drive has to do with getting it done. Be sure in your letter to talk about those two different aspects, and that's just one paragraph. Really read every detail of your job listing. Now I have another job here that is for an administrative assistant. A lot of the details of this job are very straightforward. Managing appointments, screening calls, handling various electronic and written correspondence. You want to give an example of how you took charge of all three of those things, and then go ahead and group the job duties in your letter. All of these kind of ordinary day-to-day coordinating things, but then there's also coordinating and planning meetings and events, and that's a whole other area that you should address hopefully in your letter. And this is where it's important to apply for jobs where you actually do have a good proportion of the experience that they're asking for, so that you can talk about it. So you can see by analyzing the paragraphs that describe the job very carefully, you can see what their primary problems are, what they really want, what they need from you, and address it in your cover letter straight away. Don't wait until you get a job interview, because the purpose of your resume and cover letter is to get you an interview. And then when they meet you, they will look at your cover letter, hopefully, and use that as a springboard to ask you questions in a kind of, well, tell me more about this job way. And that's what you want. You want them to talk about things that you know about and where you can shine. So choose an example of doing something very well that you have some stories behind and that allow you to really show off your great skills. Please subscribe, ring the little bell, and I'll see you soon.